And welcome back to The Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians and the lying corporate media. That's what this show is going to be about today, is the lying corporate media. At least their second subject today. We got two really good subjects. Okay, first of all, this woke church in Edina. What did they call it? Edina? Edina? Like the national press, they call it Edina.
Well, everyone's been calling it Edina, so I knew we had to talk about it because these national people have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to local stuff.
Yes, it's Edina, by the way. But by the way, none of us really feel bad that they're mislabeling Edina. I mean, jeez. There's a stigma about Edina around here, you know? I know really good people. I know some real patriots in Edina, by the way, so hate to trash the town. But they were like early on in the COVID lockdowns and just very woke, just terrible in that regard. Then we're going to tell you how CNN is lying to you, and actually the whole corporate media is lying to you about this Trump audio tape. This is something you probably have never heard. We're going to expose that right here. So first of all, I couldn't do this by myself. I got to have the political junkies with me, as you already heard from Mr. Straight-Laced himself, William Beck, a.k.a. the blonde Matt Walsh. How you doing?
Good. You've been using that term for me a lot more. I love it. Not complaining.
About Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of if you had the glasses, you'd be like a perfect match, just blonde.
Just blonde.
And the same kind of demeanor. On the opposite side of the spectrum is none other than our own Mega Jesse, who was on fire on Tuesday in William's absences. How you doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing good. I mean, big surprise, CNN's lying about Trump again. I'm so shocked. So, yeah, can't wait to get into that one.
Well, and it's not like everything CNN says is a lie, right? That's
almost
like,
everything. Almost everything. You know, it's like they lost all credibility after Larry King. So once Larry King was gone, CNN was dead.
I loved Larry King. He
too.
He had just a thing, you know? Like, it was just so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so goofy. It was like...
style, personality, and he was a smart guy, too, so...
And it was like towards the end of his career, I mean, he's so old, and they said that he was like wearing diapers and he shat his pants and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. He had great questions, though.
Yeah. Very good questions.
Poopy diaper and all.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Joe Biden. Running the dials as always, Mr. Deep State himself, Dawson. Apparently it's don't come to work with a shirt month or something like that.
Don't come to shirt work.
Yeah.
That was what you saw me wearing all day today was the pump cover.
There you go.
So,
Did you get a pump in between now and taking it off?
No, the show gives me the pump.
I can tell you're really trying hard to flex over there.
What do you mean?
I'm
not even flexing. See, William thinks that I'm flexing right now. No,
when you get
I'm just
so bulky
resting.
as him, that's just his natural body. That's not a flex there.
I'm straight up just hanging out, chilling, and you think that I'm flexing. I'm doing something right.
I'm just hanging out. Don't mind me working the dials over here.
I know a guy who grills, and he lifts a lot, you know, and when he grills, he's always got like the, I was going to say spatula, tongs or whatever he's using, at like a 90-degree angle, so he's always got like that.
That's how you do it, though. When you're posing for pictures or whatever.
But it's like he just does that all the time. Like he's got to have that flex going.
That's great.
I'm not going to mention who, but it's great. Love the guy, though. All right. Boy, we were debating which topic to bring up first, honestly. So we're going to get into the Edina Church, okay? We got an insider, somebody that knows this church very well, who actually went to this church back in the day. It's called the Edina Community Lutheran Church, ECLC. It's part of the ELCA. Shocker. Big shocker on that one. By the way, make sure if you're watching us on Rumble or not watching us on Rumble, watch us on Rumble. Please tell us where you're watching from. We're going to try to get to comments. If you want to make sure your comments are read, go ahead and hit that Rumble rant button. Donate at least $10, and we will definitely interrupt our program to read your Rumble rant. We're on a streak here.
I actually want to see
a Rumble rant.
I know you said $10. I kind of want to see someone do like a penny in a Rumble rant.
We will not read a penny. We will not do that. No,
we will actively avoid reading your Rumble rant.
Penny for your thoughts.
Penny
for your
thoughts. You have to do it. That's funny. All right.
But the more you do, the more you're part of the show. I'll put it that way. It's the free market of broadcast, I guess, right? Go to actionforliberty.com. Let's pull this up. So you go. He's already got it. So this is a lot of you guys have probably seen this at this point, but there's going to be a significant part of our audience that hasn't watched this. What does she go by? She, her? What is this pastor? Do you know the pronouns?
I didn't ask for the pronouns.
How dare you?
We should probably go by they, them.
They, okay. Safe. So that is they, and that pastor is completely woke. I think.
So this is actually, I think it's a deacon.
That's the deacon?
So the pastor is I've been informed a gay gentleman who runs the church, and this is just one of the deacons in the church.
Okay, gotcha. ELCA, by the way, infamously, was that 13 years ago, decided we're just going to go super woke 13, 14 years ago and allow gay clergy. So that's the ELCA. There's a big split in the church. I know all about it. My dad's a Lutheran pastor. He was an ELCA pastor. Left the church over this thing. In fact, I'd like to see her or anyone at that church.
Her?
They debate my dad. That'd be great. It'd be good debate. This has gone viral on social media. They recite the Sparkle Creed. I don't want to get too much into religion here, right? This is a political show. Everyone's got their own religion. Jesse's like, we got to talk about the CNN thing first. I'm like, fair point. But I want to just build this scene for you, how loony these people are. And then we're going to get into how they're indoctrinating children and all that other stuff. And how this is basically just a political organization. They're not even a church. But this is the Sparkle Creed for Pride Month. And it reads, I believe in the non-binary God whose pronouns are plural. I believe in Jesus Christ, their child, who wore a fabulous tunic and had 2 dads, and who saw everyone as a sibling child of God. I believe in the rainbow spirit, who shatters our image of one white light and refracts it into a rainbow of gorgeous diversity. And I believe in the Church of Everyday Saints, as numerous, creative, and resilient as patches on the AIDS quilt, whose feet are grounded in mud and whose eyes gaze at the stars in wonder. And I believe in calling of each of us that love is love, so beloved, let us love. I believe, glorious God, help my unbelief.
The video's do we have time to watch the video?
We're going to watch the video.
Okay.
I just wanted to read this because in case you can't hear the things in the video, but I think it's pretty easy to hear. I believe in the non-binary God whose pronouns are plural. What I don't understand is where do they even draw that Christ had 2 dads? Are they making a position on the gender of Mary? What
no,
are they?
They're talking about God and Joseph.
Mary is trans, yeah.
Or that. I suppose.
What, you think that's what they're doing is God and Joseph?
Yeah, this is like a regular left-wing talking point.
Do they believe in the Immaculate Conception at this church? Church?
Well, they probably also believe in polygamy, too. Because, they're not denying Mary's existence, I don't think.
So, I'm really confused.
I'm actually very confused. So let's go ahead and watch this video. This is right there on actionforlabor.com. It's gone viral on Twitter.
To rise in body or spirit, and let us confess our faith today in the words of the Sparkle Creed. I believe in the non-binary God whose pronouns are plural. I believe in Jesus Christ, their child, who wore a fabulous tunic and had 2 dads, and saw everyone as a sibling child of God. I believe in the rainbow spirit, who shatters our image of one white light and refracts it into a rainbow
Kid crying
of
in the background.
Diversity. I believe in the Church of Everyday Saints.
And that's the children's sermon. You can see like the stuff for the children's sermon up there.
As patches on the AIDS quilt, whose feet are grounded in mud and whose eyes gaze at the stars in wonder. I believe in the calling to each of us that love is love is love. So beloved, let us love. I believe, glorious God, help my unbelief. Amen.
Brad Ganser says it's a cult for sure, and that's true. It's definitely a cult because I am sure they have an all is welcome sign outside of that church, and I'm guessing they wouldn't welcome us if we had different opinions. So, which is a cult. And of course, if you differ in opinion, just imagine that a transgender pastor or congregant, and then they detransitioned, they would just ostracize that person so quickly because that's what the LGBTQIA mafia is. It's just a cult. By the way, Brad Ganser, thank you very much. We called him this morning, one of our great fans, because we had a tiebreaker. We had to figure out what was going to be the lead story today. Because this CNN Trump thing, I'm just going to keep telling you this. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be something you haven't heard of other places. No one wanted to bother to read the charging documents in the media. So anyhow, this is a crazy woke church, and we know someone that's very intimate in the sense that they're don't look at me that way. I'm sorry. I have bad choice of words there. Bad choice of words. William just looks at me like, intimate? You can't give me crap, Mr. Taylor Swift concert goer. How much did you pay for those tickets, by the way?
They were $125 each.
Really, that's it?
But you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. Well, yeah, because
so hold
we
on
got
one
them
second.
at the beginning
you
of
had Taylor Swift, and by the way, that seems very woke of you, because wouldn't that be like in the progressive column there, going to Taylor Swift?
It was during Pride Month, too.
Yeah.
Can't do anything during Pride Month, otherwise you'll get canceled.
But isn't she kind of like a left-leaning...
I mean, she has become...
do a good job keeping politics out of it.
So she grew up...
she endorsed Biden in 2020.
Oh, there you go. Too bad.
Okay.
Well, I love Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder's a crazy left-wing
Don't
nut,
get to
so.
defend myself today. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maya grew up big fan of Taylor Swift, and she was apolitical back then. If anything, she kind of leaned to the right. You know, she used to talk about her Christian values and whatnot, but...
Well, these Christian values, does she believe in the, I would say the triune God, but in this case, the non-binary God? Just out of curiosity, because I was perusing Facebook. I'm not on Facebook too often. I was perusing Facebook last night, and I find out William's tagged by his lovely bride-to-be at Taylor Swift. Like, he didn't bother to tell any of us here that he was going to this infamous Taylor Swift concert.
I wonder why.
Why is it infamous?
That was like the talk of the town. Everyone was talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
The reason I have an interest in this is because I give Erin over in the other suite some crap because she got tickets. And I said, well, you know, they're going for like thousands of dollars. Would you sell? Nope, I would never sell. So I figured out what she'd sell for is like $200,000 to $200,000. I got her at a price, $200,000. Pay off her house. So my question to you is, why didn't you just sell these things? You got them for $120. You could have made huge profit on it.
So we actually did check the value of our tickets like a couple days before the show, and they're about $2,000 each. And well, no, because this was a big deal to Maya. Like,
but hold on. You almost clear $4,000. What? 4,000 minus 240. That's what you would have cleared on your tickets, William.
Just about, yeah.
Just think about your wedding. You could have put it towards. You could have put it towards.
Sometimes experiences are more important than money, Jake.
Okay, fair enough. But think about your honeymoon.
Yeah, we got our honeymoon covered.
You're supposed to be feeling bad about this right now. Feel bad that you went to Taylor Swift, William.
My bad. I didn't read the room.
Yeah, with that kind of money, you could have bought a private concert with her or something, you know?
What, $4,000?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
That was a bad one. He's like, you think about all the Trump gear you could have bought.
So I missed where we had Taylor Swift in the title here.
I don't know why I went that
it's
direction,
not on the
but it really bothered me. I told you I was going to call you out on the show, and it just felt like it came up there. It really bothers me that you wouldn't sell that for and netted that much money.
I mean, again, money comes and goes. It's really not that important to me.
Oh,
it's weighing really
I agree.
On
Experiences are worth a lot.
Well, and it meant a lot to my bride-to-be, and that's the important part.
Yes, but, and as I told Aaron in another suite, like, what do you value more than that? Because, listen, I love Metallica, which is coming to Minneapolis, but not till next summer, or into summer, fall, whatever it is. So I haven't bought my tickets yet because I'm like, God, it's so far out. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if the world's still standing.
Let's bring it back to the topic.
Okay, let's do that. But we're coming back to this topic, or maybe we'll do it in the Twitter Spaces afterwards. No, I'm getting a stink look there. I should have a trump card where Jake has to shut up. That's just so much money. All right, let's go back to the topic. Fair point. The binary God. We looked into this. We have that's how we got off the topic. I said intimate, and you started laughing at me. You started laughing.
No, it's the way it was the delivery. Like
I know, but the guy that goes to Taylor Swift can't give me crap about delivery. We have so much fun at this office. It never came up in our pre-show meeting, did it? That was kind of unfair for me to do that. It's like we know someone that I think grew up going to the church. Is that right? This mysterious person we won't mention here.
Well, yes, they provided a lot of context for us.
We can say she. We'll say the gender, okay?
We're not that
I love
woke.
how you disguising the gender.
Well, in the article, I think I said she. So she told us, and she actually clarified this with me this morning. So Amy Klobuchar grew up going to that church, which I think is funny.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think her dad still attends that church, supposedly.
Big shocker on that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way the church was like that in the 80s, right?
Well, no, and that's kind of what this person was talking about. Like, it's gotten progressively more and more woke over the years, and now it's just this left-wing political social club. Like, it has little to do with God.
Absolutely. Let's pull up some of those images I sent you, Dawson. Here we've got a bunch of images from their Facebook page. This is the rally for trans kids at the Minnesota Capitol. Remember what this was to take children away from a parent that didn't want them to have hormone treatments or genital mutilation surgery. So this church is actively promoting abusing children. Rally for trans kids. And there's no such thing as trans kids. That's a ridiculous statement. Let's see what else we got here. It's all Edina Community Lutheran Church. Actually, I scrolled back there. I'm sorry. I misspoke. That was from 2022. Now, we know what they were advocating for, right? It was for genital mutilation, but it wasn't. It didn't pertain to the actual movement of Lee Finke's bill. This would have been a year before that. But still, on board with that kind of craziness. Next one, we got Moms Demand Action. So I guess they hate our guns. You know, that's an important thing. Every town, Every Town for Gun Safety or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's what their church is doing. What else we got here? This is Heather Adelson, the legislator, far left Democrat, and a bunch of other left-wingers. They do things at this church and then brag about it using this church, basically for their own, which obviously happens on the right, but just to let you know that they align very much with these far-left Democrats.
We should probably point out that the reason these are screen caps and not like on the website is
Oh, I'm getting to that. Don't take it away from me because we're going to go back to the article. And we'll
you need to do that
live.
first before showing graphics next time.
Here's celebrating Pride Month, putting kids in front of the Pride flag and dressing them up and goofy stuff. And this is clearly, you saw from the video, screaming kids. I can only imagine what they do for Sunday school in that church, I guess. Let's go back to this website. All that was taken as a screenshot, as Dave State Dawson mentioned. In our article, we have the Facebook page hyperlinked back up top right there. Go ahead and click on the Facebook page there, Dawson. It got scrubbed from Facebook. I assume they took it down. Like, what is your explanation of this? Like, I doubt Facebook took it down, right? I'm assuming they took it down. Their arguments, their ideas are so great, they don't want the public seeing it anymore. Now, this story broke, what was this, like 2 days ago? William, you're the one that did the initial story on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so within like 48 hours, basically, they're now taking down their Facebook page out of shame?
Well, yesterday they had their comments turned off. And at first they're deleting comments, and then they just turned off the comments for their videos. So, yeah, I think they just couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they do an anti-racism vigil. I think this is a weekly basis. During June, July, and August, we meet on the steps of the church, 11:15 a.m. and march to France Avenue. Oh, no, sorry, once a month. Join us every third Sunday a month for a half-hour anti-racism. And you know what's fascinating about it is it's an anti-racism thing, so we're just doing our virtue signaling because, quite frankly, everyone's against racism except for like 0.1% of the population of idiots. But what's the pride flag doing up on that? Like, what does that have to do with the anti-racism?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because it's got those weird triangles there that somehow relate to race?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then right above that, actually, here they are at the Capitol advocating for driver's license for illegals as well. Very good church-related stuff. So, yeah, this is the Edina Church, and they also are part of this big alliance called, what is it, the Reconciliation? I should have brought this up in mind. What is the website, Dawson?
Reconciling Works, Lutherans for Full Participation.
Let's pull up that website. Lutherans for Full Participation. This is like welcome inclusion celebration. You are not alone. Supporters of the LGBTQIA. So let's see here. They're they don't care about the two-spirited types apparently at this church or this mission. They care about the asexuals. What was the I again? You guys are the experts in this. Intersex. And Q.
Queer.
Which I don't understand. What's the queer difference? What's the difference between queer and gay?
What's the difference between queer and plus?
Yeah, plus is everything else except for homo or heterosexual. And by the way, the other thing about bisexual, are they like for not monogamous marriages? Is that the case here? supporters of LGBTQIA plus.
Explain that one real quick.
Well, it's like just imagine when you're advocating for bisexual people, you're advocating for people that have sex with both genders, right? Both sexes. So
I mean, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is when you're married because you're committed to one person, supposedly. Not defending this at all, by the way.
That's not what they're advocating for in LGBTQ, though. They're obviously advocating for exercising your urges, right? You know, acting on your orientation, right?
Maybe. I mean, yeah. Maybe.
So I think, and please let us know in the comments if you agree with this. When you say bisexual, you usually talking about someone that literally is acting on that propensity to have sex with both sexes. In other words, is the church now also not for monogamous marriages? Like, is that what they're advocating? Like, literally, I don't know where their basis is in any of this stuff. I still don't get the non-binary God, right? I guess it's so problematic to just refer to God in the masculine pronoun. Like, that's a big problem or big issue they have. And, it says, you are not alone. Supporters of the LGBTQIA plus people and families are not the minority in our Lutheran Church, but are the growing majority. Reconciling Works is committed to this work, but we cannot do it without the support of partners like you. I wonder if they got corporate sponsorships. We should look that up too, right? So you can go to the site and you can say, find an RIC partner. Dawson's already on that. You could type in your zip code. Let's just put in ours, 55113. And then just do like 10 miles from us. Or 20. Well, that's fine. 25 miles fine. There you go. Concentration of this woke indoctrinated churches, right? And I think they go up to 500 miles. I think it's mostly a Minnesota mission, but, of course, we're probably the largest concentration of Lutherans. Oh, no, it looks like if you look down on the bottom, it says there is a community in Houston, Texas, a community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then one in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So it looks like we're not alone in that regard. Oh, yeah, there you go.
So,
way too many of them.
There's plenty on every coast and throughout the Midwest, too.
Is there one on the coast? I don't see one on the coast. Or is that
It's
only
it's
500
not
miles?
showing all. It only goes 500 miles.
I see what
out.
you're
It looks
saying.
like.
Oh, there you go. They're pretty large. A big shocker, California, right? There you go. Yeah.
K-Wall for Life just gave a $10 Rumble rant. Says
Thank you.
cheers.
Thank you, K-Wall. K-Wall, most reliable person we have, right?
I do look forward to that cheers every show.
I love it. Yes, thank you very much for that. But that's it. You didn't want us to read something? Just $10? So we should give that 10 because that's basically you get to buy a comment on the show. So now we will give that comment to Tucker, right? That's how we
Tucker also says cheers.
There you go. He uses that cheers. Well, you tell us cheers. We want a beer then. Jeez. All right. Anyhow, you can go to reconcilingworks.org if you're interested in finding a church that does the what do they call this again? The Sparkle Creed. And if you believe in the non-binary God, go to Reconciling Works and you will find that verse. What do you think the odds are we could get this pastor or deacon to come on this show and debate a traditionalist pastor? What do you think?
You never know till you ask.
I think we got to ask that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth
I
a
think
shot.
so too.
I'm going to have my people reach out to their people. We're going to get this thing done, right?
We'll talk to our booking agent, see if they can make it happen.
William's looking at me. He's like, damn it, I'm the people. I'm not the people.
Oh, am I the people?
He's always the people.
Oh.
William hunts down a lot of these stories. We'd use Jesse a lot. Jesse's more of our on the street guy, Jesse on the street. If we send Jesse, it's like he'll eventually, it's like 2 minutes in, he'll start talking about Trump. One other story, and then we got to go to this Trump thing because this is really fascinating. Am I missing any part of this story before we go to the what Minnesota IT did?
We didn't talk about the kids.
We did talk about we showed that photo. What else did we have on the kids here?
Oh, I thought we were going to go through. Did we show the photo?
Yeah.
See,
Oh, I
we
missed
we talk about him falling asleep. See, there you go. Missed that whole part.
I was reading the comments.
Actually, you are reading the comments. Okay, fair point. Or were we just thinking, daydreaming about, man, that Taylor Swift concert was so good. He's giving such a stick eye.
I'm convinced that Jake
I'm
latched
giving you a
on to
smile.
Oh, and I am screwing myself because the first effeminate thing I do around here, he's gonna be like on top of that. And it's not gonna even be fair. Actually, it will be fair. It's retribution. I'll deserve it. All right. go to the next article, actionforliberty.com. This is an interesting story. Tell us what happened here with Minnesota IT, William.
Yeah, so this actually initially happened back in April, and it didn't get covered until the Pride Parade or whatever in Minneapolis officially finished up. So the Star Tribune covered this. Apparently, Minnesota IT services would block TwinCitiesPride.org, I think it's tcpride.org, and flagged it as adult content. So any state worker, on their state computer, if they tried to go to this website, which I don't know why you would on your work laptop anyway, but they flagged it as adult entertainment. And it's kind of ironic because, they would never intend for it to be adult entertainment. They quickly fixed the problem when they spotted it. But when you look at these parades, when you look at this guy who's twerking in nothing but his tighty whities in front of kids, well, yeah, it's very clearly adult entertainment.
Are those tighty whities or are those like just shorts?
No, you should watch the video. It's a pair of underwear.
Oh crap! I clicked on it, and yes, I am regretting watching that video. Click off of that. Okay,
can
don't
see
click
all
on
the
that video. I didn't know
dangling
you had that
things.
hyperlinked.
Yeah.
I clicked on it thinking I was zooming in. And I don't know why I want to zoom in either.
Yep.
All right, so he's got white tighties. I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
See, this is what the blonde Matt Walsh does for us, guys. What a hero he is.
Where
He
was
zooms
this?
in and looks and investigates
That's
to make
at
sure.
the Pride Parade in Minneapolis, I think, last weekend.
Is it downtown?
It's yeah, I think it was downtown, and in the video you'll see a crowd of kids that he's twerking in front of.
Okay. I was just curious. That looks a little bit like a building on the U of M campus, but must not be.
I mean, it could be. I didn't go to the thing, so I have no idea where it is.
I mean, we all know the U of M has a big blowout for Pride anyways, so
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, shocker on that one, right?
Yep.
But they have now fixed it. It's no longer adult entertainment or what?
Apparently, according to the state of Minnesota. Well, did you see their so the Minnesota Tourism Bureau or whatever it's called, they did this video on Pride. Like they got a bunch of shots from Pride. They took videos of half-naked people and they promoted it. Like, hey, come to Minnesota. Look at all the wonderful cultural things we have. Yeah, I just think it's funny. This is where our tax dollars go. Against
Yes,
our will.
come to Minnesota. Not for the North Shore. Not at all. Don't worry about that. The beautiful Duluth all the way up to, what is that? Grand Portage. Don't care about that. Care about the Northern Woods. Bemidji, Brainerd. That's not why you come to Minnesota. Come here for the Pride. That's what we come for. And the Sparkle Creed, apparently. We got to come here for the Sparkle Creed. It's so funny listening to the national media talk about, how did they say it? Edina?
Yeah,
Edina. That is so funny to me. All right, let's get into this story because I've been teasing this here. This is so fascinating. You've been lied to by the corporate media. Now, shocker on that one, right? And this is the Truth Hurts where we expose the corrupt politicians line in corporate media. We talk about the corporate media line. I've not trusted the corporate media for so long. I'll tell you what. I don't think it could have got worse than when they lied about Kyle Rittenhouse. That was a big lie, right? They literally tell us that Kyle Rittenhouse is some white supremacist. No evidence whatsoever. They tell us, like, he brought a firearm across state lines. That wasn't true at all. They lied about, what was it, Sandman? Was his name? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nick Sandman.
Nick Sandman. That was a big lie. And then when they lied about Joe Rogan, because I'm a big Joe Rogan fan, right? And Joe was spot on about how he got over COVID. And they took his video, they added a filter, and then they said he was taking horse dewormer. They know what they're doing, and they lied openly to us. And it's not just CNN; it's obviously all the major mainstream corporate media. So why do we trust CNN? Now, Jesse might say everything that they say is fake news. Obviously, CNN isn't telling us all lies all the time. They cover news that is true. And so it's kind of hard to weed through it. But when it gets to the political realm, in the case of this leaked audio tape of Trump supposedly admitting all his guilt, which is how all the mainstream media is going about it, we're just supposed to believe it? It's really interesting. It's amazing Trump right now is leading the polls because if you watch the mainstream media, it's just a hit job on Trump. And he's still ahead of Biden, who's apparently wearing CPAP machines. Probably oxygen. What do you think? It's an oxygen mask? Is that what he's wearing? It's not a CPAP machine. It's
No,
ridiculous.
they came out and publicly said that it's a CPAP machine, I believe.
I know that's what they said. Well, look at this. See,
Oh.
they got William too. William believes everything they say.
What, do you think he's some sort of alien hybrid or something?
I think he's
Getting
probably
his
on
memories
oxygen. He's probably on oxygen. Because
Really?
why is all of a sudden like a CPAP machine? Because apparently he's had sleep apnea for a long time. We've never seen these marks on his face before.
Oh, I didn't know there's a conspiracy behind it. I just kind of thought it was funny he started using a CPAP machine.
No, I think he's been using it for some time. If he does, and plus this was like, did he just wake up? How long is a CPAP machine gonna have a mark on your face?
That's a good question.
Wow,
I
only
thought
asked-
nothing of it other than
Only
the
ask the
lines
good
on-
questions around here,
Right,
William.
Right.
All right, so we're led to believe by the lying corporate media, CNN, which got now this is a big problem in and of itself. How the hell does CNN have this audio, right? Because apparently it seems like almost like in the public sphere, right, Jesse? This whole thing comes down to this audio clip. Everyone talks about this audio clip, and it's incriminating. Trump is definitely guilty, as they say on the what's that stupid show? The View. The View. He should be in prison right now, 5-10 years, because of what this audio clip says. And if you listen to it through the frame that CNN wants you to hear it, and we're going to show you what Anderson Cooper does when he breaks the story, you think Trump's guilty. But instead of doing what they do, because we're different, we're exposing the lying corporate media, we're going to tell you what Trump's defense is. And you'll probably say, that's a plausible defense. Now, we don't know, right? We weren't there, okay? And let me set the scene. This is in, was this like July of 2021, I want to say it was, this audio. So apparently there's a couple people doing a biography on Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff. So they're there interviewing Donald Trump, okay? So this is where the audio comes from. And they're chit-chatting, and apparently this is where he shows them, according to the lying corporate media, classified document, and admits that they're classified, and then basically understands that he didn't declassify it, okay? So this is Donald Trump's defense. Let's listen to this statement. This was on Fox News.
There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
Okay, so according to Donald Trump, he's got a stack of papers. Now, the youngsters around here are like, well, is that true? It's like, yeah. Like a lot of old people, certainly his generation, will have like stacks of newspaper clippings, articles, and stuff like that. It's not very uncommon. In fact, I think there's a lot about Trump does this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But, well, actually, you guys know the guy that's around that age over there has stacks of paper on his desk all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So you understand that generation definitely does that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my grandma, she mails me stuff all the time from the newspaper. She cuts it out and sends it to me. So, yeah, it's not an uncommon thing.
Great point. And by the way, we have supporters that do that same thing. They send us clippings. Mm-hmm. All right, so that is Donald Trump's defense. Okay, we're doing something no one does, is we actually let you hear from the horse's mouth what his defense is. Now let's play the CNN clip. And this aired 2 nights ago. This is Anderson Cooper, who was the first to reveal the supposed audio leak.
Hold on a second.
What's up?
Tucker's saying there's no video. We have absolutely no idea what he's looking at. Oh, wait. Are you saying that's... Okay.
Yeah, what?
Never mind. I thought he was saying that he couldn't see what was on the screen. Okay.
Tucker's making a great point. Don't worry. He's still in the Taylor Swift
that did make
fog in his mind, Oh, man. I get the stink eye so bad. And William, by the way, you don't have to care what I have to say. You made your wife-to-be, your bride-to-be, happy. That's all that matters here. Okay?
I'm just smiling politely.
But I give you crap I got to give you crap. I mean, I didn't know that. You pulled that one on me, and I'm still shocked. $2,000 a ticket you could have sold that for? It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's like a new car almost. No, not quite. You can get a sweet spoiler in your car, right? All right, let's hear the audio clip by Anderson Cooper.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. We have obtained what is expected to be a central piece of the government's case against Donald Trump. The actual audio recording of the former president talking as if he's showing a highly classified document on U.S. war plans against Iran, with people not clear to even know it exists, let alone what's in it. In a moment, only on CNN, you will hear what jurors will hear one day. The recording was made 2 summers ago, July 2021, at the former president's club in Bedminster, New Jersey. You will clearly hear the former president as he is speaking to several people. According to the special counsel's indictment, they include a writer working on Mark Meadows' memoir, the publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members. The president was aware he was being recorded. This is the first time it is being played publicly.
Okay, stop right there. That's the framing by CNN, okay? And let's just, obviously you guys know this. It's not just CNN. They all took this framing, right? He's guilty. We only have an audio. We don't have visual. He's showing him classified documents. But you heard. Now, I want you to listen to this clip if you haven't heard it yet. And even if you've heard it before, you got to hear this thing many times. Because I remember the first time I heard this, I'm like, damn, that's pretty damning, right? But you got to listen to it with the idea and the frame that Trump puts it in. This is not classified documents. What I have right here is not a classified document, okay? I got stacks of paper down there too. All they are is a stack of papers, and they happen to be related to, in fact, in this case, related to the story, which there was a story. We found this out, right, William? There was a story in May that was alluding to Milley wanted to attack
New
Iran.
Yorker.
What's that?
From the New Yorker.
Oh, from the New
talking-
Yorker.
Yep.
So he probably had that actual article in this stack. Okay, now play that.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
Like when
beginning.
Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran.
He's supposedly grabbing the classified document
Isn't it
now.
amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
Wow.
We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just found. Isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case,
Okay, stop it right there. Now, right there, you could honestly understand. He's just looking through papers. He's finding maybe an article. He's finding a clipping or something like that. Look, see, this is it. This is where Milley was saying I was attacking Iran, okay? This is where it gets a little more sketchy, where, once again, we weren't there, obviously, so we don't know. But you got a he said, she said thing. And the she, in this case, CNN, lies to us. We know they lied to us, right? And if you believe Trump, the prosecution's going after him, but we got some details on that. That's the revelation we're going to get into. So, and I'm going to argue out of this too, but let's continue listening to him talk about classification.
Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time,
she'd send
Private
it. No,
email.
she'd send it to
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying because we were talking about it, and he said he wanted to attack Iran and what. These are the
You did.
papers.
It's pretty-
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
it.
yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified it.
Yeah.
Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. Look, here I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some cokes in, please.
Yep.
This clever Wi-Fi hack
Bring some
allows
cokes
you
in here for me. All right, so now he could just be referencing what these articles about. It's classified information, and he's acknowledging that he doesn't have that, and to get it would be declassification. Now, this is where it gets a little more sketchy, a little more gray, obviously, but CNN's already attributing what they already want to be the case, right? And what the prosecution here is alleging. Trump's got another side, a plausible other side to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the proof? Unless they got, and maybe they got a witness here that's ready to testify. If they can testify as an expert, like I remember seeing the classified document. And then, well, how did you know it's classified? Because it sounds like he kind of just went like this, and just showed it, right? Oh, well, it had the secret heading, all that kind of stuff. That's a problematic case, in my opinion, because it doesn't sound like they're getting a really good glimpse of it. And it also could be the case that they don't have a witness, or that if they did bring a witness, maybe the defense brings a witness and they go, yeah, it was just paper clippings. He was alluding to what's behind that is classified, and he should declassify it so everyone could see how ridiculous they were. Okay? That's plausible. I don't know what happened. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that we do know. And this is the thing you're not hearing from the corporate media. This is the indictment. This is the charging document. What is it, like 50-some pages, 60 pages, something like that? 44 pages? 37 counts, one account for his name's Walty Nada, but what do they always call him? What's the nickname they call him? They don't usually refer to him as
I can't
Walty
remember.
Nada. Yeah, it's a real weird name. They call him this, not chauffeur, but what the heck do they call this guy? Why am I?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Basically, his assistant. That's what this guy is. So he's charged in the 38th count. So there's 37 counts and charges against Donald Trump. Now, when you listen to corporate media, this is the smoking gun. I don't know why they have this audio, right? This should have been, because think about this, tampers the jury pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did they have the audio? Now this is already out in the public, okay? And the whole media is going with it.
Yep, they leaked it to CNN. CNN of all places. Do we think CNN was ever going to do fair coverage? Did we think CNN was ever going to, show Trump's side of things as well? Were they ever going to play Trump's defense? Of course not. The government, the deep state, fed this information over to CNN, to try to destroy Trump. Yeah, working out really well. How is it that, if this was a serious case, why are his poll numbers going up? Why are the American people rejecting what the mainstream media is telling us? Why are the people starting to say, I'd rather have Trump after all, considering all this, if the government's just going to keep on lying about him, and especially with CNN, with what they're doing. And I've said it before, whether this was confidential information or not, I don't care. This is all such a scam. It's just another pathetic attempt to try to get Trump out. And, from that audio at the very end there, she said, there's no war they don't want. And that's 100% the truth. Are we surprised at all that General Milley was trying to push for war in Iran? And that's what they're saying now. Trump should be thrown into prison for keeping America out of war with Iran. Think about that.
That's not what they're saying.
That is not what they're saying.
Oh, it's 100%.
That is not what
General Milley is their hero. He's the hero of the media, and they would go along with any plan whatsoever. You guys are shaking your heads, but
you
it's
just
true.
stole my. I was going somewhere with this. I was going to break the thing that no one's talking about. And Dawson and I were so scared you were going to go on trash talking Millie, which is fairness, but I got to get this out here, right?
Okay.
Because you're going to love me for this, Jesse. I'm
I'll
on your side here.
I'll get back to it after.
Thank you. God, did you see him stealing this? Guys, here's what you're not finding. This is not what you're hearing. Because the CNN and all the media, they're telling you, oh, he's guilty. This is the smoking gun. Guess what? He is not being charged with that at all. All 37 charges, not a single one of them is for an Iranian document. Put the CBS photo. I'm shocked CBS even did this story. I just did a Google search, and it says Iran memo not among the 31 records underlying charges in Trump federal. And then, of course, same day, CBS has Trump heard an audio clip describing highly confidential secret, right? Which is actually not a classification there. Highly confidential is not a classification according to the law. And that's just Trump, right? He's just saying something, it's like, oh, look at this, very highly confidential. 37 charges, not a single one relates to it. It is in here. It's on page 14. If you want to go to the indictment, they do reference it. And I have a theory why they reference it. Right here. Page 14 here on the indictment. You think, we're not legal experts. Why are we the ones cracking into the federal indictment? Where are the legal experts for these major networks? Why aren't they telling you the truth? Well, we know why they're not telling you the truth. They're liars. They lie about everything. Vaccines, safe and effective, right? It will slow the spread or stop the spread of COVID. Liars. Trump's disclosure of classified information in a private meeting. This is alluding to when Trump was... And by the way, this was at Bedminster, too. This wasn't even at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is where it got raided, Bedminster in New Jersey, right? So this is reference to on July 21st, 2021, talking to a staffer and then talking to these people, and then he's talking about, highly confidential. This totally wins my case, as you heard, except it's highly confidential. The reason I think that they put it in there is this line right here. Trump basically admitting that he didn't declassify it. See, as president, I could have declassified it. I think that's why it's in this document as background information or in an introduction. So it's not in the charging part of the document. It's just in the background information. So they could make you understand that Trump, let me give the devil his due, make you understand that Trump understands that things that weren't declassified as president are now classified. I think that's why they're putting, if I'm giving the devil his due, there's another chance. We're watching the special prosecutor, who, by the way, is a Biden fan, right? What was his wife gave to Biden? What was the connection?
No, she had worked on a Michelle Obama documentary.
Oh yeah, that's right. There you go. There's the connection. So yeah, fair and impartial. But then when you get into the actual charges, and as I mentioned, there's 37 of them, and that starts, if you want to follow us at home, page 28. Nowhere does it mention, and sources at the DOJ admitted this, or in the special prosecution, that of the first 31 charges, which is mishandling classified information, not a single one of them references the document here. Mm-hmm. So, willful retention of national defense information, there's 31 counts of that. Not a single one references the supposed Iran document. You can read it yourself. Not a single one, they admit it. CBS writes the article on that. Count 32, conspiracy to obstruct justice. That's not what that's about, right? It's not about conspiracy to obstruct justice. Basically, what that would have said is he was willful retention of classified information could be charged, or disclosure of classified information to someone that can't have it. That's not even a charge in this document. The disclosure of classified information, whatever the actual legal term would be. Count 33, withholding a document or record. Clearly not it. Count 34, corruptly concealing a document or record. That's clearly not it. What they're referring to is concealing a document, basically using lawyers to hide them, right? From prosecution or from law enforcement. Count 35, concealing a document in a federal investigation. Kind of similar to the same thing before, not offering it up when they're asking. That's what the left always says. Well, the difference between him and Biden is he didn't give it back to the feds when they asked for it. Which we talked about that on our show, too. If you Trump and you believe they're coming for you, why would you offer up potential evidence? Count 36, scheme to conceal. That's clearly not it either. Last count, last charge on Trump. False statements and representations, also not it. So the smoking gun, this audio tape that the CNN and the whole media want you to believe is the smoking gun, and why Trump should be in prison already for 5 to 10 years, according to those idiots on The View, is not even something he's being charged for. So what do you got here? And there is a plausible defense to what he's saying. Mm-hmm. So when you just lie to us like that, I don't believe anything you say. I'm almost at the point, Jesse, I don't know if they even got a case against this guy.
No,
is it all full of lies?
I mean, just like every other investigation, just like every other lawsuit, and who was the one who was promoting the fake rape accusation against Trump? CNN, Anderson Cooper. Everybody saw that train wreck of an interview where, she said, "You're a really fascinating person to talk to, Anderson." That's right. It's the same people. We're dealing with the same exact lying corporate media who is choosing to go after Trump again, and it doesn't work. Luckily, the American people are smarter than the media because we see through the garbage, and I think if we try to, give them any sort of credence, any sort of, journalistic integrity, it's absent. It's not there. They're not doing their jobs to, fairly disseminate information to the public. They're just looking to interfere in our election, prevent Trump from being the candidate, because we all know what the deal is that they're trying to strike. They'll basically offer Trump, if you don't run, we'll drop all the charges, and Trump will say, hell no. He's not backing down. And, back to Milley. So
hold on. I think a clever retort to this whole thing is, he was still talking about classified information. The question is, because I could see why you would construe that from that audio, right? And then we talked about this at the office. It's like, God, we say something all the time in our office that someone could construe. I was just mentioning this. Like, William, you come over to my office sometimes and, I show you a document of some sort. I go, have you seen this yet? And if this was just audio and they didn't actually have a video, you'd probably be like, no, I haven't seen this yet. Oh, man, this is quiet secret. No one's talking about this right now. Oh, wow, this is damning stuff. And I could just be showing you some like thing on politics, like some legislators exchanging documents or something like that,
Showing
right?
me your favorite burger recipe.
Yeah,
this is
well, it
pretty
could be as
damning
easy as that too.
Nobody's talking about
But
this.
the audio, because I had a top secret clearance at one point. Jake still got classified information, and look, this audio proves he was showing it to William Beck on that day, and William Beck doesn't have a right to know that information. No, I wasn't. I wasn't doing that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a plausible defense here by Donald Trump. You could literally see him in that situation. But the question is, if this was classified information, why isn't it on here? Where is it? And if it's because you never found the supposed classified information, so Trump was really clever and he hid it from you. You guys haven't found this classified document yet. Then why is this even part of the? Why are we even talking about this thing?
If
you have no evidence.
If no document was recovered, there was no document. Without evidence, you can't make a claim. So they're claiming that, there's this document where General Milley was laying out the plan for us to go to war with Iran. So you guys can shake your head. Oh, no, they're not mad at Trump for not going to war. Of course they are. Trump is one of the only, he's the only president in modern history, in modern American history, to not start a single war. The establishment, the media, and everybody would have backed up Milley if they were trying to push for a war in Iran. So, it's now Trump's fault. Trump should go to prison because he's a peaceful guy. I mean, give me a break.
The article that Trump was supposedly referencing was talking about how Trump supposedly wanted to go to war with Iran. And I think Trump was, in this video, he's refuting that by saying, well, look at what they're saying about
exactly.
me.
He was saying, no, it was Milley who was trying to send us to war with Iran, and I was rejecting it.
Right, but the big outrage was that, Trump wants to go to war. Trump wants to get us into conflicts and send our kids overseas. Like, no, Trump doesn't want any of that.
Here it is. It's July 15th, 2021. Actually, that lines up. Oh, God, that lines up perfectly with this date.
Yeah.
Because didn't I read this was July 21st? This is, let's go to the page
right, so
14.
it's probably fresh on his mind. That's probably why he had it printed out.
Page 15 on July 21, 2021. So this was a week before, and this is from the New Yorker. You can look this up yourself. You're gonna have I was gonna swear on the. I do, but you're gonna have an effing war. Mark Milley's fight to stop Trump from striking Iran. So when you see this article,
right
here, let me just send it to you, Dawson, because I gotta show you guys this stuff. When you see this article, I'm gonna put it in the show notes. I'm gonna stick it down on line 19. All those Milley comments below, all those Milley comments that Jesse's got lined up. You were so right about that, Dawson. Here you go. He's basically, Milley is ready to say Trump wanted to go to war and striking Iran. So you could understand from Trump's perspective, showing proof. No, I didn't say this. These people are nuts.
Mm-hmm. Is that a picture of Milley right there?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Why is that hilarious?
He looks like a caricature of a general.
Mm-hmm. And he's a short one, too.
He is a caricature of a general, too. That's the funny part.
Isn't that cool?
He's a shorter general, too. They're usually pretty tall dudes.
Actually, that makes it even better. It plays into, like, the cartoon stereotype of a general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, like the Mexican general, like a gazillion badges and stuff like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It's like they're not even talking about this stuff. Like you just believe at this point, if you just don't look into this stuff yourself and you just take the narrative from the mainstream media, Trump is guilty. Lock him up. Throw away the key.
Right, and it's so funny to me. Nobody's mad about his policy with Iran. What they're mad about is if he had a piece of paper about Iran. Trump was the only one who was smart enough to cancel that Obama deal, the nuclear deal that was basically going to give Iran nuclear powers and nuclear weapons over time. We know they're developing them, and unless we're going to be, strong and confrontational, but also, that doesn't mean that we want war. Trump, he's reciprocal. That's how you deal with, foreign conflicts. You're reciprocal. When they bomb something, you go and kill Soleimani. You don't go and kill their innocent people. You go and kill the general. That's the style of Trump, and it was very effective. And General Milley, he'd rather see American people dead. He'd rather see Iranians dead. He'd rather cause a world war. So,
but if this is true, Milley isn't really the topic of conversation here.
Yeah, he is. This whole thing is about Milley.
It's really not, though, because
the leaked audio is all about Milley.
That's true, but I'm saying if what is being alleged is true, if Trump really did show
But this is their
classified
evidence.
documents.
This is their evidence.
I know, but if it's true they showing classified documents that reveals troop positions, that reveals
General Milley was revealing that? No. Trump was never going with a plan with General Milley. In fact, we even have a video where Trump lays out how stupid this guy really is.
You got to lay out background when you come up with military plans, and when you even if it's not a plan that you follow through with, if the enemy gets their hands on military strategy, that puts your troops in danger.
Suggesting that Trump was doing that, giving the enemy our plans?
No, if anybody gets their hands on that, that's a big deal.
I don't
That's
even
what's being
believe
alleged here. That's what Williams said.
Right. And
No, I know, but
I don't
it sounds like you're falling for it. It's like, let's not fall for the media lies.
No,
They've
I don't
lied
think
about
he
Trump
is. I mean,
every
he's
other
just
time
saying-
before here.
I'm just
so now we're going to fall for this one?
You're the one conflating stuff, right?
No.
No, yes, you are, because what we were talking about here is, did Trump have classified information and leak it? I'm alleging, no, they made this whole thing up. Right?
I'm convinced that.
And you seem to be convinced of it.
Right.
But you then made it sound like, oh, this whole thing's about Milley. It's not. It's about that. You want to go on this tangent on Milley, and we will play the clip because it's pretty damn hilarious. It's Trump.
I mean, he is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, even though he's a ridiculous liberal. Like, he does have significance within our nation's government.
No, I'm not suggesting otherwise. What I'm saying is that this audio tape, the one piece of evidence that they're willing to leak to the media, the thing that they say is going to send Trump to prison because, everyone's been saying, did you hear the audio tape? It's proof, it's proof, it's proof. And it's all about Milley.
We're on the same page there, I think, in that they're trying to create a false narrative, but you're wanting to go off on Milley.
But they're using Milley to do it. They're using Milley.
How are they using Milley here?
Because they're saying, Milley's doing it all himself as well, too, because they're saying it was his document. It was Milley's plan. They're saying that.
Milley, you're saying Milley's weighed in on this? That, like, Trump's got
honestly, if I had to guess, I got some opinions that, I wouldn't be surprised if Milley was sneaking some of these documents in that the government wanted to get back from Trump. Milley, he's a sneaky guy. He's a guy who doesn't love our country.
Yeah, but when you say, like, documents get back from Trump, there's a digital copy of our documents. I don't understand what that means.
Wait, say that again?
There's a digital copy. It's not like there's only one copy. We didn't put this on a typewriter.
No.
I
know
he
that.
Just doesn't want a document floating out there by Trump.
No. I'm saying that Milley was putting his own classified, phony classified information that's
that is
labeled as classified. That's not really. It's just General Milley's crazy communist ideology.
Well, okay,
you
but
think
let's
that
take
it's Milley who's trying to take down Trump from the inside?
Of course, dude.
That's for
from
sure.
the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he is the deep state. He's your best friend.
Yeah,
Dawson.
that was kind of documented towards the end. I mean, he called, and you wanted to talk about this. He called China, like what was that, January 2021? Mm-hmm. So he called China, and it looked very.
He's treasonous. That's the guy who we're supposed to take seriously right now. That's the guy who's trying to put our former president in prison. We've never seen anything like this in the history of our country. We've never had any president targeted like this, especially innocently. If Trump was guilty of something, it'd be one thing, but the fact that he's innocent and they're still going after him in this way, while he's a candidate for president, the leading candidate. In both the primary and the general, he's the leading candidate. And some of these lawsuits, it's only helping us out, so who am I to complain?
Well, let me give you my personal experience. So, like, I kind of look at this stuff, I'm like, God, is Trump crazy? Like, and the media, I mean, they are so believable, but they've got staff and years of experience to manipulate this stuff, right? And so it's so believable. And this story alone, I mean, I think heard the audio clip on Crystal and Sager, which I tend to tune into because it seems to be better than the corporate media, although they seem to climb that direction. And they were just like, yeah, Trump's guilty. And I looked into this a little bit more. I go, my God, I don't know here. They're not even charging him with what they're saying here. It's not even like, if this is the crucial piece of evidence, where's the charge? Why is it not in here? No one wants to even do that research. And then last night, as I'm looking at all this stuff, my little kids come up to me and they go, Daddy, someone's here and they got documents. I'm like, documents? What the heck? And someone's dropping off these documents on behalf of Keith Allison, taking me to court, taking Action for Liberty to court, because they drummed up fake charges on us too. Now we're not, this isn't like prison and federal, a federal crime that they're coming against us, but it's still bullshit campaign finance violation. Mm-hmm. They completely make up the story about us. And then they pursue this investigation. We're like, we're not gonna follow your
Right, and they
administrative
do it for
subpoena.
the
It's
same reason
ridiculous.
they do it to Trump. They do it for the headline so they can try to taint Action for Liberty.
And, you know, I thought about that too, because in this case, this was supposed to be confidential when they were investigating. This has gone on for a year now. Someone leaks this to the Republican Party of Minnesota, corrupt David Hand. And what's he do? He e-blasts every Republican in Minnesota saying Action for Liberty is basically guilty and they're terrible. They don't even believe in Republican values, which we do a lot more than they do. And so he blasts us out. So it's a political hit job against us. And it's the same thing with Trump. You know, like, I don't know. I have no idea if Trump's guilty or innocent here. I have no idea. You know, I think a lot of us rational people think, yeah, Trump kind of plays things loose. I know myself. I know I follow the law. I know we're innocent of these charges. You know, Trump always says I'm innocent of these charges. And in this case, it seems like there might be a lot of evidence there. But I know I'm innocent, and they still do this to you. Because at the end of the day, if you change things, if you're like grassroots oriented and you're not going along with the political party, they come after you. And I like how Trump says, they're really coming after you. I'm just standing in their way. And that's the way we do things at Action for Liberty. Because if we just bow down and got all this fight, and that's really what they want, is they want us off the political map, then we're done. We're screwed. Who's going to defend you? Because a lot of you guys got to work. You know, a lot of you guys are tuning in the show. I appreciate it. You're probably still at work and kind of doing some work and listening to it on the side. Or you're listening to this afterwards. Maybe kids are down to bed, right? So you need someone doing this full time. And luckily you do. You have a team dedicated full-time Liberty. But we're too powerful, too successful at what we're doing that they got to come after us with erroneous complaints. So I look at this the same way that I look at this Trump thing. They're doing the same exact thing. There's higher stakes for Trump. Don't get me wrong. Trump, they literally would put in prison, which is actually kind of funny because he'd be there with Secret Service. You know, I don't know how bad prison would be if you have Secret Service, because I think most people's fear of prison is, oh man, I'm gonna get my shit beaten out of me, and oh man, I don't want to go to the shower. You know?
Yeah, but
So-
you know that's the thing. Like, we're never going to believe the media because they lost all credibility because of the fact that they pushed the Russiagate narrative from the beginning, because of the fact that they pushed the impeachments. Every single little thing that they could go after Trump on, the media was doing it. So now we're going to start believing CNN? I don't think so. Not me.
And once again, I mean, CNN's getting some things right, but in this case, I think when you look at highly politicized stuff, you got to just look at them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Let's go to some comments here.
Sure.
CNN might actually get rebought out by their old boss. Did you guys hear about this, Jeff Zucker? Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting change.
So I was told that I had to go easy on the comments today, so we have a lot to catch up on. I'm going to find some good ones here.
By the way, we got a Twitter Spaces afterwards at 2:30, so join us after. I don't know if you could post the link later in, but otherwise, if you got our email, we're going to be on Twitter Spaces. Or go to Action_Liberty. So we'll be starting that up about 2:30 for the after show.
Action_Liberty on Twitter.
What did I say?
You just didn't specify where
I didn't
to go.
specify. Sorry.
Based Minnesota says they're referring to the Trinity, that Jesus has two dads, and God the Father and the Holy Spirit.
Way to go way back.
We haven't been reading comments.
Well, let's stick on topic here, but very, very good point there. I like that. There's two dads. That's the triune God is two dads. That must be what they're referring to. God, these people are so nuts.
Tucker91 says legal expert is just a fancy way of saying scumbag snake.
Yeah. I mean, are these independent thinkers? Didn't Dershowitz weigh in on this, Jesse? Are you?
I'm not sure if Dershowitz has or not yet, but I'm sure he has said something. I haven't followed what he had to say, but
I was about to say that he did, but that was a different thing. So I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Base Minnesota also says, William, I think you need to crush a monster. I would love to crush a monster. Unfortunately, our fridge is run dry. Maybe I'll go pick one up after we're done here. K-Wall for Life says Anderson, in parentheses, Vanderbilt Cooper had an internship at the CIA. Need I say more? I actually didn't know that.
Sorry, say that again. I was trying to read the Dershowitz, but I wasn't paying attention.
Anderson Cooper had an internship at the CIA, supposedly.
Yeah, if you were to create someone in the media that just looks like a CIA operative, it's him, isn't it? Isn't that like the perfect one?
Yeah, no, he looks like a CIA agent, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
K-Wall for Life says, Joe Bribham is on video at the CFR in D.C. talking about holding $1 billion bribe over Ukraine over investigating his son's employer.
Yeah.
Tucker follows up.
Quid pro Joe.
Quid pro Joe, that's right.
Pro Joe.
Tucker follows up and says, in India, Joe Biden made a joke about selling a lot of state secrets, although it didn't sound like a joke. An odd one says he wasn't joking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other thing about that audio clip is they're talking about Hillary Clinton, and it's so true. It's like Hillary Clinton. She would give this stuff away.
Yeah, to Weiner.
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do people know the Anthony Weiner story? Or is that too old? Was that like over a decade ago?
I think people know it.
I still think of Anthony Weiner as the guy who sent nudes to that underage girl.
That's 100%.
And then there's another, I don't remember what the more significant thing is with him.
Well, so his wife, that's an interesting marriage.
Mm-hmm.
His wife, Huma? Something like that?
Huma.
Yeah, she was like Clinton's closest confidant.
Yeah,
like,
people
like
say that her and Hillary used to sleep in the same bed.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm
what
not
Alex Jones
joking.
was
That's
saying.
what people say.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And you say no one alleges that Michael and Barack sleep in the same bed, right?
No, I don't know what they do. But yeah, no, we should definitely play that Millie video.
Oh, let's play the Millie clip. All right, let's go to, this is called Millie is a effing idiot. This is Trump talking about.
Yeah, this is talking about Afghanistan, the withdrawal from Afghanistan that Millie was leading.
You got a $50 million airplane. You got a $29 million gorgeous helicopter. We had every type of helicopter. Many of them brand new, literally out of the box. 28, 29 million. We have $60, $70 million planes. You mean you think it's cheaper to leave it there so they can have it than it is to fill it up with a half a tank of gas and fly it into Pakistan or fly it back to our country? You think, yes, sir, we think it's cheaper, sir. That's when I realized he was a fucking idiot.
I'm sorry.
It's all the truth.
Oh, God. That's classic Trump there.
But, you know, I mean, considering the fact that Millie is the guy that said, oh, yeah, let's leave our planes and let's leave our tanks there, you know, instead of, you know, returning them back to our country, it's cheaper just to leave them, you know. That's the kind of losing mentality that, you know, has led our country for so long. It's the losing mentality that, you know, is in the White House right now with Joe Biden, you know, to just give up American weapons, which, you know, we know we know it's being used by the terrorists now. We know that it's been completely taken over, and it's just such a joke. You know, Afghanistan is now, you know, it's a haven for terrorists and all of that, and it's thanks to people like Millie.
You know, this reminds me, and I don't know if I talked about this on the show before. There's an article I read. You know, I was a military officer, and I think it was probably back in the military I read this. And it was about how generals don't get fired these days. It's really rare. It was probably circa around when, what's his name? McChrystal got fired from by Obama in Afghanistan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And back in World War II, if you couldn't get the job done, generals were getting fired left and right. And then they get replaced with someone that's capable. So you say this losing mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen today.
Yeah.
You get to the general ranks, and it's like a political office at some point.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are above the law in many regards, and they could screw up. They could be super woke, and they could be bad generals, and they just stay in place. It just wasn't like that in the greatest generation.
Right.
It's a very interesting dynamic here, and maybe explains a lot of the problems with our country.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a very capable military, thank God. But, boy, we do not have good prospects. They care more about woke agenda. Wasn't Millie behind the teaching critical race theory at this point?
Yeah, no, of course. He's all behind it. And, you know, it's interesting that he wants to help throw Trump in prison when really Millie is the real criminal. Millie is the one who should be locked up. Millie committed treason against our country.
Right.
We should also roll that video. Millie commits treason because that's another thing he did, you know, to China.
Do you have a video on that?
Yeah, there is a video.
This is from the roll call, which is a
the one underneath
Isn't
that.
this something we can just...
White House backs Millie
video,
after reports he called China. Biden says he continues to have great confidence in top military officers. Is to show a picture of Milley in a mask, useless mask. The White House rallied on Wednesday around General Mark Milley, chair of the Joint Chiefs, after a prominent Republican called for his resignation following reports of back-channel calls with the Chinese counterparts at the end of the Trump administration. Quote, the president has complete confidence in his leadership, his patriotism, and his fidelity to our Constitution, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters during the daily White House briefing. President Joe Biden later told reporters that he has great confidence, in quotes, in Milley. The calls were reported in Peril, a new book by the Washington Post, Bob Woodward. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And about the rocky transition as the presidency shifted from Donald Trump to Biden. According to the book, Milley spoke with a Chinese counterpart in October and January. Milley wanted to allay fears that an increasing desperate Trump might launch a unilateral attack. Once again, you call that bogus, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. They always called Trump this wild man. Like, oh, Trump, oh, how dare he has the nuclear codes. Do you really think Trump's more dangerous in that regard than freaking Joe Biden? Especially since we don't even know who's calling the shots with Joe Biden. I mean, this brings cooked. The first call by the way, in 24 hours, I think I mentioned this to you guys, in 24 hours, Joe Biden twice says that Putin is losing in Iraq. That's the president of the United States. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
The first call took place shortly before the election. So, yeah, I forgot about this story. It's crazy, all the wacko stories these days. So before the November election in 2020, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is going above the president's head and calling China. And then the second one came January, 2 days after pro-Trump mob stormed. Oh, you got to love Roll Call's little editorial.
Yeah.
2 days after pro-Trump mob stormed the U.S. Capitol seeking to overturn the results of the election by force.
Yeah, they didn't call it a riot that time, at least.
Yeah.
Mob sounds slightly more friendly.
You had a video?
Yeah, there's a video.
Let's play the
Dawson,
video.
it's the one that I have labeled. It says, like, play first 30 to... Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, let's watch this.
Courtesy of Band.video.
Yeah, it's going to take a second to get through this.
How long is the video?
Just the first 30 to 60 seconds tells us everything we need to know.
According to the newly released book, Peril, by Bob Woodward and Robert Costa, General Mark Milley of the Joint Chiefs of Staff committed treason. On October 30th of 2020, he made a top-secret phone call to General Lee of the Communist Chinese Party, assuring him that the U.S. was not going to attack China, and if they ever planned to, he would call ahead of time and let them know. Milley made a second top-secret call on January 8th of 2021, telling his communist handlers that Trump was unstable and made assurances that nothing would happen. That same day, Milley called a secret emergency meeting at the Pentagon, ordering his subordinates to disobey any orders from the President of the United States without his presence. This is a U.S. general at one of the highest levels of our military.
All right. Yeah, that's good right there. So you guys can tell. General Milley has sold out our country to China. You know, he's willing to tell the Chinese everything that they want to know. And I've never heard of a military general warning another country, if we were going to attack you, I'd tell you first. You know,
it's crazy.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why would you ever tell your opponents what you're up to? And not only China, General Milley sold out to Black Lives Matter, as our country was getting burnt.
Hold on, before you go on your rampage there, I think you're missing a key thing here. This is according to Bob Woodward's book.
Mm-hmm.
And they're referencing a top secret conversation with Milley in China.
Yeah, right. Lock up Bob Woodward. Yeah,
how did Woodward
lock
get
him up.
that? Where's the investigation leak from General Milley's conversation?
And they're proud of this treason. That's the thing. Milley is proud of being a treasonous individual towards our country. He's proud of what he's doing here. Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, he's also sold out to Black Lives Matter as, a church was being burnt down in Washington, D.C. Trump was ordering him, let's get the military involved. We cannot allow this to continue to happen. And how crazy is that? Should we allow riots to go on in our street? Everybody is allowed to protest, but you are not allowed to riot. And even two people, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, I'm sure others, two people who haven't even endorsed Trump yet, but even they both have called out General Milley. And at the time, they were telling General Milley he needed to resign, that he couldn't be in office anymore. So to me, we know that General Milley is a fraud, and now we're expected to take him seriously, and I'm not going to. It's all obvious to me. This is another setup hit job where they think they can get Trump, and it's not going to work. It's pretty easy to side with Trump in this whole thing because he's been right every single time, and I'm not expecting this one to take him down at all.
Well, as we said, they're coming after him. They're the court of public opinion. He's guilty as charged. Should be in prison for something that they're not even charging him with.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a second. All right, let's close out with any comments here, and then join us at 2:30 for our Twitter Spaces after show talk.
So, Bad Hat Harry, going back to the equipment being left, the point is all that equipment has to be replaced. Therefore, somebody is making a lot of money for leaving that equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
Odd One asks, why is Milley not in prison? Good question. Tucker says, General Patton almost lost his command a couple times, too. There was a slapping incident and his mistake of trying to liberate a POW camp where his son-in-law was a POW.
Yeah, it wasn't the slapping incident where he was visiting a field hospital, and I think there was someone who wasn't really injured enough to be off the battlefield, and they slapped the guy or something.
I remember hearing
it was
about
a different
that.
generation back then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
That's all the... Yep.
All right.
I didn't read the anti Taylor Swift comments. Sorry, guys.
Were there anti-Taylor Swift comments?
You can tell me all about it on our Twitter Spaces.
William, I'm just going to apologize for you. I feel the look you gave me. I feel bad. I saw this
It's okay,
easy
Jake.
target.
No need to apologize.
No need to apologize, and I'm going to stop apologizing.
You wouldn't have gone on your own, right?
Well, I was just obliged to say no need to apologize. You can continue if you'd like.
No, say what you mean. That's what the show is about. Truth hurts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I should continue on because the truth does hurt, doesn't it?
Well, is it the truth?
I mean, Taylor Swift. What? Can you name 5 Taylor Swift songs?
Probably. I'm not going to.
Okay. I can't name one.
Shake It Off. Timber.
Shake It Off. I know that. I know that one.
Sorry, no, I can't.
No, go ahead.
I honestly don't think that I can. Shake It Off and Timber are the 2 big ones that I know.
She's obviously a talented artist, just not the genre guys like us should be listening to, right? But you wouldn't have gone to this if it wasn't for Maya, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't even like I told you guys that was my first concert
but you were
that I've
dancing.
ever been to.
That's the video I saw.
The video you saw was me swaying back and forth.
It was a dance. It was swaying.
No, okay, so I'm going to defend William here. I'm not a big concert goer either, and this was his first. He did a great job for being at his first concert because I have no idea what to do when it comes to like dancing. I pretty much do exactly what William does.
Also,
I don't go to concerts you dance at, so I have no idea either. But
Tucker's thinking of. So Tucker asked, didn't she sing "Wrecking Ball"? That was.
that was Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's much more edgy.
She's a little edgy.
That one, because there was someone that made fun of that video, and it was hilarious. It was like a dude on the wrecking ball. What was that from? Oh, it was so funny.
How come I can't think of any more Taylor Swift songs?
I don't know.
Well, this sounds like a great conversation to take over to Twitter Spaces. You can follow us on Twitter at @action_liberty.
Yes, follow us there. All right, we aren't going to be in studio on the 4th of July, but we will still have a show for you. We recorded last night. Well, Dawson technically will come in to do it live. So you can still comment. We're just not going to read, just so you understand, we're not going to be reading your comments live because it's already pre-recorded. But here's what the subject is. The author of the book, can they see this? I can't.
No, they can't.
The author of the book, Thomas Paine, David Benner, buddy of mine from college, constitutional scholar, historian, great dude. He actually runs the Libertarian Party's Twitter account, National Libertarian Party. So interesting dude. We bring him on to discuss the Declaration of Independence and more in particular, the line in there about when the government becomes tyrannical, it's the duty of the people to alter or abolish it. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone wants to talk about the first part of the Declaration of Independence, but what did that mean? What were the circumstances surrounding that document and them choosing that language? We get into that on the 4th of July. It's a good educational podcast. I hope you tune in. So that will be on Tuesday. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week. We'll be back in studio on Thursday, but don't miss the show on Tuesday. Take care.